Hi, welcome to the Penguin Post newspaper by kids. Today we are interviewing Jennifer. She's a paleontologist working at Red Tail and Environmental. Let's ask her some questions.
Tell us about what you do at the Red Tail.
So what I do for Red Tail is I am our paleontological program director. And what that means is I work with construction companies when they are digging and make sure that as they dig, no dinosaur fossils pop up. And if a dinosaur fossil does pop up, then we stop work, we clear the area, we dig up whatever we can find, and we bring it back to our lab, and later it goes to a museum.
Did you become a paleontologist?
The way that you become a paleontologist is a lot like what you girls are already doing. It's really about that passion for dinosaurs. There's a lot of hard work and studying, of course. Do you guys like math? Yeah, I love math, but it is very difficult. But that's the thing, you know. It will be hard to get here because it takes a lot of work, but it is so much fun. It is the best job ever. I love it very much.
When did you know you wanted to be a paleontologist?
That's a good question. You know, when I was going to school, I was studying to be an archaeologist. Do you guys know what an archaeologist is? Good. So archaeologists work with artifacts and human remains. And as I was going to school, I took a class in paleontology. And my teacher brought in all of these really cool fossils for us to look at and touch, and it was so amazing. I'll never forget that day, and it was that moment I knew I wanted to be a paleontologist. I wanted to find fossils, and I wanted to go put them in museums so that the entire world could enjoy them as well.
What would you tell kids our age that would get them excited about paleontology? What should they do to prepare?
Well, I definitely think that studying hard in school is the most important thing when becoming a paleontologist. You study a lot of different things, including geology and biology. And I think that the best way to start becoming a paleontologist is to do like what you girls are doing, ask questions. If you have a thought and you're like, did T-Rex walk like a chicken? And then you can go explore ideas and see, well, why would he walk like a chicken? Well, he walked like a chicken because he doesn't really have arms and he only has 2 legs, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, you know, so that's what paleontologists do. They look at animals, they look at the rocks, they put things together, and that's how we kind of come up with the history of the Earth.
What is your favorite dinosaur or prehistoric reptile?
Oh, wow. Well, I love hadrosaurs. Do you guys know what a hadrosaur is? It's a duck-billed dinosaur, and so it's a little different than your typical T-Rex or sauropod dinosaurs. They also walked on 2 feet, and they had big bills on their heads, big bumps on the top of their skulls. That was actually a bone. So I think they kind of look funny, and they kind of walk funny, and they're very colorful. So that's why I like them. Do you guys have a favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur is Triceratops.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What is your favorite thing you have discovered?
Well, very interestingly enough, the favorite thing that I've discovered was not a dinosaur at all, but it was a whale. There are whales in California that are now extinct and no longer exist, and we find those in the Central Valleys and in Southern California a lot. And oftentimes we'll find multiple whales together because whales are social animals and they live in groups. So one time we found a large whale a mama whale, and then as we dug deeper, we found the baby whale with her. And we can tell the difference between mama whale bones and baby whale bones by the way they fuse together. So that's one thing that we do learn as paleontologists, is how to tell the difference between bones of adult animals and bones of younger animals.
Great place to find dinosaur fossils. What is it like there?
You know, one great place that I've never been to that I really want to go to is the Grand Canyon. Have you guys been to the Grand Canyon ever?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That place has a lot of history, a lot of years that have never been deformed by plate tectonics, and they're really just laid out almost exactly the ways they've been laid out for millions of years. That is one of the places I'd really like to go, and I know that they have a lot of information at their visitor center about dinosaurs.
Can I show you some of my fossils I have?
I'd love to hear.
These are my fossils. This one is like a shell, but on the other side it kind of looks like dirty coral.
Cool.
I found this, and I think that it's either a stingray flake or a crab fossil.
Cool.
I think this is part of a bone. This looks like it's a part of fossil, but it has a bit of rock stuck to it.
Awesome. Where did you find those?
At the beach.
Wow, just walking on the beach?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Can you tell us about Barnum Brown and how he discovered the T-Rex?
You know what? I don't know the actual story of how Barnum Brown found the T-Rex. I can look that up. I know that oftentimes when scientists find fossils, it's a lot like you guys walking on the beach and just seeing a piece of something sticking out of the sand. You know, a lot of times you see a little tiny chunk of a part of a bone, and you're like, it looks like a bone, but I can't really tell what bone it is. Scientists at different museums will have full skeletons of animals that they can take those little pieces of bones and go compare it to a full-size bone and say, hey, this bone looks exactly like a T-Rex bone. I think we have a T-Rex bone here. And then based on how the rocks are dated, if a rock is, say, deposited 1 million years ago, then we can tell that that animal existed at least 1 million years ago.
Who is your favorite paleontologist?
I would say Mary Anning is my favorite paleontologist. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
She was from England.
I heard about her on Dino Dana. She was.
Oh, so they talked about her?
I think it said that she was the first person to discover a plesiosaur. I think that's what it said.
That's correct. That's correct. And you know, it was funny because at the time, she wasn't even a studied paleontologist. She was a regular girl like the rest of us that had a passion for what she was looking at. And everybody else didn't believe her. They thought she was crazy. These were new ideas that nobody had ever heard before. But she was confident about what she was doing and what she was studying, and she was able over time to really change the ideas about the history of the earth and open people's minds to the existence of dinosaurs. And for that, I find her inspiring. She is one of the people that inspires me as a paleontologist.
That was so cool. We learned a lot from you, and thank you for your time.
Bye.
You're very welcome. Bye, ladies.
Bye.